G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game of Age of Empires 4. I tell you what, it's been a while since I've said that, but I tell you what, it is good to be back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dry Arabia. We are here today to watch some Conqueror 3 level action. Let's get into it and introduce our players. Spawning in the north of the map in the color green, playing as the Ottomans, it's Geranium. And on the south side of the map in the color red, playing as the Holy Roman Empire, it's Feudal. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dry Arabia. It is a pleasure to have your company. If you haven't already, make sure you go grab something to drink, put those legs up, leave a like on the video, and let's get to it. Now, I'll tell you what, I've been playing a lot of Age of Empires 4 lately. I tell you what, after Age of Mythology Retold, you know, we were doing the little beta test, the stress test. That was good fun. I was having a lot of fun. I was having trouble opening up Age of Empires 4, but I said, you know what, I want to get on. I want to try a little bit of Chinese. So I've jumped in. I've played about 6 or 7 games so far. Haven't done too well, but you know, it's about, you know, getting up on the horse, and if you do fall off, about making sure you get back up again. So anyway, that's where we're at. Any more updates? I don't really think so. I mean, I've got more updates. I'll give them to you over the course of the video, but let's get to it now. You might be wondering about these two players. Geranium from Taiwan, last season finished in, I think, in Conqueror 3 at about rank 70, so pretty damn high. Faye, of course, Conqueror 3 finishes most seasons within that sort of 50 to 100 bracket, so she's definitely up there. Now, she's just randoming every single civ that she's playing. So that's important to note. She's not remaining a single civilization here, so don't get mad at her. If I know that Redditors recently have been getting very mad at the Holy Roman Empire players. I don't know exactly why that is. Apparently, it's because there's a lot of Holy Roman Empire on the ladder. Apparently, from what I've read, basically everybody's just going for like a really, I wouldn't say fast, but they're making a lot of units in the Feudal Age. So I watched a couple of Louis MT games, and what he did was really interesting. He was just going for a whole bunch of archers as the Holy Roman Empire really early on, and then he'd just start making men at arms. And I guess the argument is you've got the Ark and Chapel, right? So if you can put the Ark and Chapel down in a position, let's say like somewhere over here, isn't too bad, as long as it gets the gold and it gets a little bit of the wood, which it doesn't look like it's going to be the case. It's going to be the mine work. Faye going to be mixing things up, but generally the argument is that you've basically got 40% eco over your opponent, which is kind of crazy. And then you start stacking in farms relatively early. You've got good farms as well, or at least a very good transition to farms as the Holy Roman Empire. So that's a big bonus. But have a look at this. Faye mixing things up, going for the mine work. Definitely not something we have seen out of the Holy Roman Empire. Definitely more so out of the Order of the Dragon. Let's talk a little bit about this matchup, because this is quite an interesting one. The big thing here for Geranium is going to be getting to Castle Age quickly. I think this is really, really, really important. You have to get to Castle Age quickly. It depends on how many units the Holy Roman Empire is going to make, and obviously with the meta sort of shifting to a little bit more aggressive. Oh, we got a surround coming through. Geranium losing the first of the spearmen coming out of that military school. But yeah, essentially, the argument goes that you can't really stay Feudal Age against the Holy Roman Empire. You'd need crossbows. That's pretty much it. I mean, you could probably do knights or janissaries or whatever else you want, but you need something to cut through that thick armor. So that's essentially it. So I'm going to be curious to see exactly how Geranium plays it and what his mindset is here, just simply because if he does stick around in the Feudal Age, well, I don't think it's going to go too well for him, but we'll ride on board now with him up towards that north side of the map. It's going to be the Twin Minaret Madrasa coming down for him, so going to be looking to get a little bit more food. Now, keep in mind that with the most recent patch, there was a bit of a change with the way that sheep work, so there's more sheep, or rather, I should say less sheep. I think there's less sheep on the map. Generally, there's less food that you get from sheep now, but they're a little bit more balanced. You start off with more sheep, which is lovely. I tell you what, starting off with those extra sheep as China, it feels so good, dude, because you can be really greedy all of a sudden now with your scout. But a little bit of aggression on the gold vein as the age up is coming through. Faye going to be dropping down that barracks. Is it spotted out by Geranium? It is now spotted out by Geranium, so he's going to know well and truly what he needs to get up to. Suspect the men-at-arms will be coming out soon. No, it's just going to be the spearmen coming out. Now, remember, for all of these vills that are getting damaged, the prelate is here, and the prelate will be able to repair this back up. So hopefully Faye's paying attention to any of those low-health vills and pulling them back, but you can see now with the prelate here, it's not going to be too much of a hassle whatsoever. Now, I recently was sick as well. I am still technically sick at the moment. I can feel the strain in my vocal cords. It is a little bit late. It's about 1 a.m. at the moment for me when I'm recording this. Speaking of recording, did any of you guys catch the Olympics? Did you guys see that amazing breakdancing performance by the Australian girl? Her name's Reagan. Shout out to Reagan, my girl. Jeez, wasn't that amazing? That was some of the best footwork I've ever seen. If you haven't already, I'm not going to leave a link to it because I'd probably get hit by the Olympic Committee. Well, let me just put it this way. Go give it a Google. Search for, like, ray gun breakdance. Or just search for, like, Breakdance Australia Olympics 2024 and just make sure you're not drinking anything while you watch it because it is amazing. I'm just going to say that much, all right? Anyway, so, yeah, I've been a little bit sick. I'm getting there, though. I'm getting there. It's just like a cold or flu thing, you know, kids going to daycare, that sort of thing. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's non-stop. I went to the doctor, actually, to talk about it, and they're like, oh, yeah, it looks like you got back-to-back infections. You were just getting over this one, and now you got this one. I was like, yep, that's it. Anyway, let's ride on board with Faye and see how she's doing. As, at the moment, she's just gone for the 1 spear. Have a look at this. A huge amount of eco upgrades, well, not eco upgrades, but upgrades starting to come through. Wheelbarrow, Iron Undermesh, and Double Broadaxe already through right now. Vil's going to be moving down to the south side. We do see Wheelbarrow is already through, or rather Survival Techniques is already through down here for her. No Prelate as of yet. I'd love to see you actually make a Prelate for these Vils. She would get more value by having a Prelate down here than she would by having the Vils. But I guess in the long run, the Vils probably pay off more. But it's going to take a while, right? Like, the Prelate's giving 40% to all of these Vils here. Whereas 1 Vil's like an extra, you know, extra little bit of food. So that's one way to think about it. But Stable now going to be coming up here as well for Faye. You know, we're not seeing too many men-at-arms at the moment. On the other side of the map, though, have a look at this. Double military school opening with the blacksmith. Stable also coming out. Spears doing the right thing. And I kind of like this from Faye moving into the spears, just because it does normally feel like whenever you're playing against the Ottomans, it's going to be Sipahi that are coming out early, just because that's what they stick their military schools onto, because it makes the most sense. But now, moving out across the map, looking to pick up the boar. You can see the spears covering that Sipahi. They see it, making its way down towards the south side. Another spear going to be moving out. Faye with already 5 spears on the field. Boar now going to start being taken. Keep in mind the Prelate going to be able to heal up that Vil. So she won't be losing any Vils here today, because this is very common that you will lose a Vil out here if you don't micro that 1 Vil, because it will get the 4 hits in, and I think the 4 hits is enough to actually kill the Vil. 2 spears down on the hunt on the south, even though there's a tower there. I love the protection coming out from it. Scout now moving forward. Outpost on the gold. You know what that indicates? That indicates it's going to be a Castle Age play. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get down. Let's get dirty. We can see that the resources now are starting to get there for Geranium. And I love how Geranium has played this. This is exactly how I would play this matchup. Especially with the outpost coming up on the gold. Really, really smart. And basically just sort of offsets any potential risk of aggression. The one thing that Faye could look to do here, because she has gone into mine work, is go for siege engineering. And that's exactly what she's doing. So this is pretty smart from her, because she's now going to be able to put pressure onto these outposts. Even if Arislitz comes through, you're not going to be too worried about it. On top of that, you've also got the double gold at the front. Now, does Geranium know about the back gold? Okay, he does. Oh, he only just knows about it. Look at that. A couple tiles towards that north, and he wouldn't have known. But it is a double front gold. And with double front golds, you have to be very careful, because if your enemy says, hey, I'm gonna stick some units in between these gold mines, you're not going to be able to gather gold. So that's always something that you really want to be paying attention to. But Age Up going to be on the way through. MIA coming in. New Blacksmith going to have to put down at the back if you want to get full value. There it is, coming down now for Geranium. On the ball, Geranium. Now, I will just say for Geranium this season, he did actually place... he hasn't placed very well, but previously, very, very well. So, at the moment, I think he's only Platinum. So, don't hate the guy. But obviously, you can see from how good he is. Definitely Conk 3 level. As I said, last season, he was Conk 3. It's just that... Normally, the way that it works is it's based a lot off your placement games, as they're called placement games, but it can be very, very bad. Like, I remember one season, I did a placement game against, like, Demu, and a placement game against Louis MT, a placement game against Leenock, and I was just like, okay, I was Kong 3 last season, and I've just come in and lost 3 placements in a row, and it put me in, like, I think it put me in, like, Plat 3. But don't, like, you enjoy the climb, though. I guess that's the fun part about it, and Geranium surely will here. As the outposts now come down, where does Geranium look to go after this? Keep in mind, a lot of resources in the bank here. Nothing in the stable just yet for Geranium. Geranium, you gotta wake up, brother. Where are you at? Barracks coming up on the backside. No knights or lancers. Still making Sipahi here. It's almost like Geranium's fallen asleep at the wheel. I mean, we can see that it's what's going on back here, but there's a lot of... Oh, is he going fast imp? Is he going fast imp and he didn't want to spend resources? I think that might be the case, man, because fast imp is actually insane with autos. If you can pull it off. If you can pull it off. I mean, Faye's going very aggressive right here as the Ottomans. We can really see the amount of units she's starting to build up here. She's going to need a lot of archers if you want to counter this. Horsemen now moving around the backside. More spears towards the front. I'd love to see a couple men-at-arms starting to get mixed in here, but I guess one thing to note is men-at-arms have half the siege as a spearman. Well, not really. They're twice the cost, which basically means that you're paying twice as much for the same amount of siege. So it can make a lot more sense in the early stages to be going for a lot of spearmen. I've done it again. That's 2. Don't worry, we'll get there. Meanwhile, back towards the base. We've got a second Rax as well as a second stable now going to be coming up for Faye. Double battering ram continue to move on to the first of the landmarks. Both military schools going to be going down. And you can already see Geranium going to be picking up some hot tips here from Drongo. Normally we go for that military school towards an open area, but ideally avoid the front of the base. And that is exactly why right there. You lose a lot of flexibility from those villages that you want to be popping onto those battering rams. It kind of forces your opponent. If you've got military schools at the back, then they have to kind of come around the back. Then you can intercept reinforcements over towards this side. But Sipahi chasing away the horsemen for now. Spearman numbers still looking pretty thick. Men-at-arms really building up here. A lot of men-at-arms very, very quickly. Obviously with the blacksmith here, pumps them out with an extra 30% production rate. But wants to avoid losing the twin minaret madrasa. Vils being brought forward. The repair comes in. The Mangonel's online. Needs to prepare it. Needs to protect it. Mango needs to be brought in between these berries. Not even a chance. There's no way Vils are getting to it. And the Mango goes down so damn quickly. That is unfortunate to see from Geranium. A little bit of an error right there. Vils now being brought up once again. Men-at-arms, keep in mind a lot of health on these guys, but not a lot of damage. So it's going to take a lot of work for these guys to actually get their business done. Meanwhile, the town center is fully garrisoned. Twin Minaret Madrasa goes down. Sipahi comes out. I think that might be the first of the Ottoman Vizier points used. But it looks like the town center, together with the men-at-arms, should be able to defend against this. It's just a very chaotic... You can feel the pandemonium in the Ottoman base right now. It doesn't feel good to be an Ottoman enjoyer, that is for sure. Meanwhile, behind this, take a look at this. Regnitz Cathedral going to be coming up for Faye. Now, does she look to utilize the power of the prelate here in the feudal age? Ideally, what we want to see is we want to see those prelates starting to move out onto relics across the map, and that's exactly what we've got. The first of the relics coming out. Keep in mind that with this is something that I always love pointing out with the Holy Roman Empire, is you can make your priests in the feudal age. You can run them out in the feudal age, and the moment that you hit castle, boom, baby, pick up those relics and bring them on in. And you can see right now that the damage that Faye was able to do there was significant, in that she was... I shouldn't probably say damage. I should just say the time she was able to buy herself was significant. But have a look at this. Man-at-arm numbers now starting to build. It's only spears and horsemen on the defense. This is going to be tough. A little bit of role reversal right here as the Ottomans with the man-at-arms fight up against the feudal age units of Faye. Meanwhile, behind it, we do start to see early men-at-arms going to be coming through for her. I'd ideally love to see an archery range or 2 thrown down so we can see a crossbow or 2 added in for her. We'll switch it over to income per minute as these relics start to come online. No spring on emplacement yet either. Keep that in mind. No fortification on the outpost, so you can't really throw it in. He could go for the wall. She does. It's looking good. Excuse me. I'm still a bit sick. I'm feeling it right now. I need a bit of a drink of my water. Gets the relic inside the outpost. Don't really like this, though. Could be easily sniped away if those imams dare come in. We don't see any on the roads just yet, but she continues to fall back towards that town center. Meanwhile, towards the top side, Prelate, has it just not found a relic? Is that what's happened? Or has it just been rallied out towards that position? Has it been denied? Oh, the mosque is already out here, so it could be the case that it was denied. But back towards the town center, focusing at the moment on these units. We do see knights now going to be joining the field. Vil count still pretty even, 45 versus 44. Only 1 Vil kill against 2 Vil kills. Meanwhile, towards that top side, Prelate, oh, look at this. Men-at-arms is just chilling. It's just chilling right here. You'll notice that my keyboard, it's not the best. Sometimes it'll do like this double tap thing where it goes in and out. Apologies. I bought a new keyboard. I don't know if I'm really happy with it. I'm definitely happy with like the build quality, But just, I don't know, I've noticed it's a little bit finicky sometimes. It's a Keychron, for anybody wondering. I think I already mentioned it. A Keychron Q3 Max. I feel like that could be an Audi, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, town center. Going to be bolstering this defense as more knights continue to come out. Sapai over on the left, rather right side of the base, do get defended pretty easily. Of course, those Vils like to give a little bit of a stabby stab, but you can hear the Mangonel finally making its way from the enemy base down. But it looks like it's going to be a cleanup here for Faye. So how many relics can she get here? That's going to be the big question for me. Because at the moment, I'm looking at the minimap, and it's looking a little bit scary. I'm seeing a single relic remaining. So how many has she got? Oh my god. How did she get away? How did she get away with this one? That is absolute robbery that she managed to get that. There was a man-at-arms on her. Was there a wall? Oh, there might have been a wall potentially. I don't know how to see it. The conversion's still technically up. I had a little bit of deja vu right there. Conversion is still technically up. So to me, that almost says it wasn't a wall. It was just like maybe, you know, sometimes you'll tell your men-at-arms like, hey, patrol out over here. And they'll patrol, and they'll see the prelate, they'll start attacking it, and then the prelate like gets to here, and they'll be like, well, you know, I've chased him far enough. That's probably all my patrol route really needed to do. I don't think I need to chase this guy to the end of the earth, and that's pretty much it. Men-at-arms now building for both players, and we see the heavy maces starting to come through here for Faye. It's going to give her a really nice matchup into the enemy men-at-arms. So crossbow is going to be added in for Geranium here. You do see the double archery range on the front. Military school coming through. That's only the second military school. I think after losing those military schools earlier on, Geranium's really kind of dropped the... What's the polite way to say it? Dropped the ball? I think that's probably the best way to say it. Definitely dropped the ball with regard to getting those military schools online. A huge component of the Ottomans is getting 4 military schools online and that MIA. Once you've got that, you know, just make lots of units and then send them all to the enemy base, and that's pretty much how you win as the Ottomans. But I guess with Faye being able to do a lot of damage, taking out 2 military schools early, it's stunted the growth of Geranium. Crossbows now coming out, also going to be revealing the fact that we're moving into crossbows. This is free information that Geranium is now giving over to Faye. Basically saying, hey Faye, just letting you know, I'm starting to switch into crossbows. There's probably going to be a few more of them coming out. So if you want to go into horsemen, you can. If you want to get a mangonel out, maybe that's a good idea. We can already see Faye is now moving back into horsemen as well. So away from those knights and into horsemen instead. Upgrades continuing to come through for her. Moving into, is it bloomery? No, decarbonization now going to be coming through. Walls in for both players also. And ego upgrades on the side of Geranium. Moving into the wheelbarrow. So far, pretty action-packed early game. Definitely feel a little bit more growth towards the mid-game. Now, one thing to note is neither player is yet on a second town center. And if there's any advantage that you'd point towards with regard to that, it is Faye. Simply because of the Swabia, the villager printer, infamous for its ability to just say, hey, I'm going to win now. And you press a single button, Q, 1,000 times, and you win. Let's see exactly how Faye looks to play it out. Whether she thinks about going up to Imp. Nice little intercept here. Horseman able to find those crossbows. Beautifully done by Faye there. And able to recognize that. Mango gets a couple shots off. She's going to go straight for it. Couple of units in here, though. Looking to try and defend it, but not going to be able to do the DPS that she wants, or rather that he wants. Manages to lose, or manages to take out a couple of the horsemen, but tell you what, you're going to take that trade every single day of the week. If I could trade 3 horsemen for a mangonel, tell you what, I would be a mangonel trademan. Actually, no, that would be terrible. I'd be a horseman trader. That would make a lot more sense. An arms number starting to look decent now. Geranium going to be careful. Only 13 crossbows. Springwood emplacement going to be more than enough to defend this position without battering rams. And even if you do have a battering ram, how are you really going to take out this outpost? Outpost, emergency repairs, Vils get pulled. The whole time you're fighting underneath it, the men-at-arms are making sure that your battering ram is under pressure. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see you ever really attacking into this angle. Really annoying outpost right there. Men-at-arms and crossbows now are from that west side. Meanwhile, behind it, I would have loved to have seen Geranium go for Imperial a little bit sooner. I think for both of these civs, you can get away with a very nice imp timing. And what do I mean by that? I just mean stop making units. at like 14, 15 minutes and just go Imperial. Like, you can get away with it. Like, from the Holy Roman Empire perspective, like, you just go for a cannon emplacement. From the Ottoman perspective, you got great bombards, baby. You're fine. Crossbows now, together with the men-at-arms, trying their best to defend away from this position, realizing Geranium may have picked off a little bit more than he could chew. Faye comes in for the tackle. On the backhand side, the horsemen coming through, looking to try and hit down those crossbows. Keep in mind, they get double damage against the crossbows. Prelates also involved with a little bit of action as well. It's just looking like an overwhelming victory here for Faye on this defense. Sacred sites have now started to be taken by Geranium, and I don't think we've touched on it just yet, but it turns out in the end that Faye managed somehow to scrounge together 4 relics. That's correct, 4 relics. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is impressive. I tell you what, that is very impressive. I was a bit worried for her when I saw that there was, there was early Sipahi out on the map here. Looked like there was the potential to deny that. Obviously, we had the little blunder over here on the top side with the men-at-arms not being able to pick it up. But all in all, a decent recovery there from Faye. So now that Faye's won that fight, she's got 2 options. Number 1, she can double down in the Castle Age. Well, number 2 is she can, she can do the thing that we've been talking about for the entirety of the game. She can go Imp. It's an option. Prelate now out on the Sacred Sites as well. Looks like she is going to stick it with Imp for the moment. She's still got 1,100 food a minute. A lot of units in queue. And I think I think now's a good time to take a swig of my water bottle. Oh, man. You know what I got in my water bottle today? Yeah, yep, you got it. It was water. Damn it, man. It's too easy for you guys to guess that. I got to call it something else. You guys want to know? You want to guess what I got in my orange juice bottle? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It ain't gonna work. Not today. What are you guys drinking? See, it's a trick question. You can't answer. But I know what you're drinking. I think statistically, if I just say water, I'm probably right the most. Realistically, what would it be? Yeah, I think it would be water, right? There ain't no way it's Red Bull. I mean, the Red Bull Water Lol's coming up. But there ain't no way it's Red Bull. Like, the percentage is just too low. There would be like maybe 3% of people drinking Red Bull right now. I think coffee could be up there. Maybe tea. But you could technically class those in with the waters. I mean, they're like 90% water at that point. Man, how good is a good coffee? I had a coffee this morning. I tell you what. Oh, my Lord. It hits hard. I've been enjoying drinks lately. I've been enjoying my water, enjoying my coffee. I'm just an enjoyer, drink enjoyer. That was Don Hardy's old handle on Age of Empires. I think it was Water Bottle Enjoyer. And there was a number. It was like Water Bottle Enjoyer 7. Something like that. Just because there were 6 Water Bottle Enjoyers before him. He wanted to make sure that he was a little bit different. Alright, Sacred Sites are slowly changing hands. Horsemen and Knights managed to get out unscathed as they got a little bit close right there to the enemy military. Now, they did, I think, get a spot off on those mangoes. This is a really dangerous fight to take right here. Ooh, the lunge connector out in though. Oh, it's a beautiful angle that she's coming in from the bottom as well as the side. Lunge connector, men-at-arms together looking to push up. Able to find their way through. The mangoes just completely obliterated. You can see the crossbows with nothing to defend them here as the spears and men-at-arms have been completely pulled out of position. And now Faye looks to clean up this game. 23 minutes into it. More crossbows starting to join into the fray. You got to be so careful against those lance connector. But unfortunately for Geranium, just getting picked apart by the horsemen. Maybe a couple of spearmen could definitely help him out in this position as now the defense comes through. The meta is online. I'd love to know what points Geranium's gone into. I see a second town center that's been put down. Really smart move to go into the second TC here. This is going to offset any risk of Imperial. So as long as Geranium keeps making units here and waits to follow up Faye, he should be okay as long as he gets his upgrades in on time. That's going to be the key here. So he wants to try and fight as much as he can now that he's got the second TC up. It sounds a bit counterintuitive, but that's just the way it works. Fight as much as you can now that your second TC is up. And the whole idea is you just want to keep the pressure on the enemy. You don't want to let them age up. You don't want Faye to think to herself, this is a nice little window I could age up in. Got to be careful with that meta. Only 61 health left on it. Get it in the front, Geranium. Very well microed there. 20 health left. Crossbows continue kiting back. You want to try and focus down those Lance Connect if ever you get the chance, even though they're not technically armored. Nice damage from the Mango. Might get a second shot if it's lucky. I don't suspect it'll get much more than that, though, as long as Faye's paying attention. Another shot comes in. Beautiful DPS coming in. Lovely micro from Geranium. And looks like the Mango will get off 3 shots today. Not a bad little investment there, considering you're only paying for the landmark. Look at this. Look at the crossbow numbers. This is absurd. How many crossbows? Like 38 crossbows? You're asking for trouble here, Geranium. All I do if I'm Faye right now is I make a mangonel, I breathe on you, and you die. That's how it goes. But have a look at this. Faye with 3k gold in the bank. Faye, what are you saving for? Faye, is Faye saving for a house? Perhaps. Keep has come up over on this west side of the map. Expect to see a relic from the outpost brought forward. Always nice to extend line of sight, weapon range. I think it's weapon damage, weapon attack speed as well. Keep going to be coming up for Geranium on the gold. He's looking to try and deny the gold here off Faye. I think rather trying to secure it for himself. We can see that over on the opposite side of the map, he's already done that with the big gold. Definitely the right call here. It does get cancelled as he realizes, well, hold on a minute. If Faye's already got it, there's not really much I can do. Stone walls now coming up at the backside. Neither player looking for Imperial just yet. Take a look at those resources at the top of the screen. Let's do a little bit of a income check. See how these guys and girls are doing. 1,500, 1,800, 2,200. We're talking about roughly 2,800, somewhere in that region neighborhood. Meanwhile, down towards the south side, we'll worry about income later as we've got ourselves a little bit of a, well, a little bit of a depreciation in army values coming in. Crossbows continuing to kite back. Geranium thinks that he's making hand cannoneers at this point. The crossbows are just trying to get as much value as they can. Beautiful kiting, though, that's coming in. More crossbows. 7 men at arms, though. I'd love to see some spears mixed in. If we could get some spears here, maybe this could be a combo that we could talk about. But prelates also getting mixed. Faye, a distinct lack of units. Is there an army that she's missing out on? Yeah, there is. There's 11 Ronald McDonald's back here. Don't you love to see it as well? Beautiful. Oh, no. Oh, no. You guys know what that is, right? You guys know what that is. This is known as like the... I don't want to say it. Well, you know Ronald McDonald is a clown, right? And this is a car. Sometimes there are cars. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, that was lucky. Oh, that was lucky. Oh, you guys got out by the skin of your teeth right there. The clown car is real, ladies and gentlemen. And it can hurt you. Vils at the back. You just move the battering ram over and say, hey, how's it going? Don't mind if I bring a couple friends out for dinner, do ya? And Ronald McDonald serves up a Happy Meal and says, that'll be $4.95. How much are your Happy Meals? I tell you what, I bought a Happy Meal for my little man the other day. Jeez, that's expensive. Next time he's just getting a double quarter pounder, like a large double quarter pounder meal. You're going straight to the big leagues, kid. It's too expensive getting Happy Meals. I can't justify that toy. Meanwhile, over towards that east side, Sacred Side is still going down. Don't count her out just yet. Lance Connector inside. Here they come. What's up? Nice to meet you. Horsemen still pushing away those crossbows. Lance Connect. This is why we watch the Lance Connect. Oh, they're not getting too much value underneath this keep, though. That's the fortunate thing for Geranium at this point, is the only real bonus that was going on there is that there weren't enough units to kill, really. The keep will come down. I don't know if this is necessarily a win for Faye. Like, sure, it's a win. It's great to kill the enemy keep. But at what cost? Like, the crossbow mass is still intact. How do you deal with... Oh, yeah, that's how. Mango. Boom. Hello. How you doing? The mangonels here. Look at the response from Geranium is instantaneous. Impressive. Geranium's got a cranium the size of uranium put in a... what else can write? Geranium, uranium. You know, if I knew my periodic table better, we could actually bust out a rhyme right there. But I'll be honest, I don't know it that well. I went to school with a guy, Maverick. I remember Maverick. Great guy. He knew the periodic table off by heart. That was a bit weird, but I mean, whatever floats your boat. I mean, I know pi to 1,000 places. I guess that's kind of weird as well. I do. Don't test me. Don't test me. Crossbow numbers continue to build. 59 crossbows for Geranium, the king of the crossbows. Looks to strike. Mango comes on the backside. 3 meta, 4 meta, still standing strong. Once again, those crossbows looking like they might be in a little bit of trouble, but have a look at this. The Springald gets brought a little bit far forward. Springald has a bit of a kiss with the horsemen here. Continuing to fight backwards. Mango comes out. Mango shot on the gates. Terrible damage. 48, 47, 45. Crossbows remain. Springwood, you got to be careful, my little friend. Stick that guy in a different control group. That was powerful stuff right there. I don't even think we got to talk about the income of Faye. The whole time we were too busy focused on the units. 2,400, 3K, 4.4K, 5K. I'll give her 5K right there. That's the Drongo 5K award. We cracked it, 5K. Over on the side of Geranium, what are we running? 1,100, 3.3K. And that, baby, that is the Holy Roman difference. All right, so Second Town Center has been pumping for quite some time. However, I will point your attention towards, or point your eyes down towards this number. 19 vills taken care of so far by Faye, which means that this number should be a lot higher. Right now, Geranium should be feeling very comfortable. 119, 120 vills, that sort of region, but it's not the case. It is not the case at all. Instead, what we see, well, we don't see anything. We don't see anything good right now. Only 6 vills ahead as the Swabia is coming down. Things are about to get real for Geranium. Geranium's going to have to put a lot of work into that cranium if he wants to. I can't. It just doesn't work. The uranium has nothing to do with this game, apart from the absolutely nuclear takes that Faye is having. Think that she can just make prelates. Look at this, 11 prelates. This is 11 population that could be Landsknecht. You could have 11 Ronald McDonalds running around. Swabia, let's see if we can find it. It's a good spot. I feel like I'm watching an FFA right now. Swabia on the big gold. Keep comes down immediately next to it. That's textbook FFA right there. 100 vills for Geranium. 92 for Faye. Are you guys ready for some printing? Oh, yeah. Watch how quickly she overtakes him. Now, keep in mind, she's also got the relics on board. Now, to be fair, on the side of Geranium, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 military schools. Now, what Geranium needs to do right now, Geranium needs to back, stop making units. You see how he's making units? Stop that completely. You need to age up straight away. Now the Faye's aged up, you've got permission to age up. The alternative, or the other thing that he could do, is drop a third TC. I wouldn't be against a third TC here, because what we do see with a lot of Holy Roman Empire players is when they do reach Imperial, normally in the early game, they will stop making villages with their main town center. Here we don't see Faye doing that, just because she's quite far through the game. She's got a pretty decent economy already going, so she might as well stick it. And having that third TC for the Ottomans just basically means you're going to be able to get to that 130 vills, 140 vills if you need to, and not be too hampered by the enemy. Swabia now really starting to pump. You can see Faye is now equal with Geranium. Look at that. In less than a minute, she's absolutely just blown through it. Age up about to come through from Geranium. You can feel it. What's it going to be? It's got to be the Istanbul Observatory. I can't see it any other way. Where does it go down? I mean, you could technically... Nah, you see, you can't even do trade. That's the thing. You can't even do trade. Like, look where the trade post is. Like, nobody wants to trade to this. Except for Geranium. Geranium wants to trade to this, but I don't know why. I mean, this is just... This is really inefficient trade, and markets should probably be down, all the way down here at this point. Meanwhile, in the middle of the map, this is not a fight you want to take right now, Geranium. Get on back. Elite upgrades are through. Elite meta arms are in. Prelates are all upgrade. Oh, no. No! No! Murder on the 10th floor! Murder! Murder! Oh, no, it's terrible. Somebody call the police. Oh, it's absolutely disgusting. Geranium gets caught at the gates. And that right there is absolutely disgusting. Wow, a single mistake ruined his game. What a way to go. What a way to go. Ladies and gentlemen, go check her out. I'll leave a link in the description of where you can watch Faye. And of course, we'll catch you guys in the next one.